Hey, this is Dr. Barrett. Thanks for joining us on the Real Health Podcast. My passion is to help equip you with information that can change your life, the health of your life, and the health of your families. I'm a board-certified chiropractic physician with a passion and emphasis in nutrition and sleep and how to biohack the body to get to a greater level of health. Thanks for listening in to the Real Health Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Health Podcast, and I am without my co-host, Lane Taylor. He is on his way to sunny Florida. He is moving there, and so we are rolling solo today. I'm so grateful that you guys decided to listen, jump in, join on, and let's talk about supplements. So we've been in this series now where we've talked about omega-3 fatty acids. We've talked about vitamin D. We've had discussions on why these are so beneficial to the body. And so today, maybe this isn't necessarily I absolutely have to be on, but I think it is a really important supplement to consider for where we're at as a general public. And I don't think everyone needs to be on it, like vitamin D, for instance, or a probiotic, or even a omega-3 fatty acid. So it's not necessarily for everyone. It's for a more specific population group, or it should be really considered to be used at certain times in life. And so what we're going to be kind of discussing today is what we term enzymes, or more specifically, proteolytic enzymes. So proteolytic enzymes. So that means protein lysis, so the breakdown of proteins by enzymes. So enzymes are things that your body produces. Your digestive system produces enzymes to help break down proteins and fats and carbohydrates. There's very specific enzymes that are used for certain processes within our body. So we're going to talk about a couple different groups of enzymes. The first group, we're going to talk about digestive enzymes. And I would tell you, if you're having digestive symptoms, more than likely, it's not just a colonization issue. It's not just like a probiotic, prebiotic issue. It's not just an issue where you don't have enough bacteria or you have too much bad bacterial growth or too much fungal overgrowth or yeast overgrowth or parasitic infections. It's more in the actual lineage of digestion. So the ability to break down nutrients. And guys, this is a big issue. When we talked about B vitamins last episode, so if you missed it, we talk about some nutritional deficiencies associated with B12. Well, this has to happen in the stomach and small intestine, where we release these enzymes to break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates that then are utilized for our body to function and to heal. So if you consume a steak, you have to use enzymes to break down that steak that then becomes amino acids that are used as fuel sources and repair sources in our body. Well, there's specific ones for carbohydrates and there's specific ones for fats too. And what we see is a lot of times when we are not digesting properly, we see our stool present that way. And so what happens is maybe your stool floats. Well, that's usually due to high fat content that's not being broken down by an enzyme called lipase. Or you may have a lot of vegetable fibers in your stool. Now, to some degree, there's insoluble fiber, but at the same time, we should be able to break down our plants enough to where we're not seeing it a lot in, obviously, our bowel movements. So when we think about our gut and how to heal it and how to progress it forward, I think enzymes are an absolute must. Probiotics, we talk about aloe vera. We have conversations about herbs like slippery elm that are great for calming down the digestive system. But digestive enzymes should be considered. And when you look at digestive enzymes, there's usually a little bit of hydrochloric acid in there, or betaine HCl, to even further enhance digestion. These are taken always with food. So again, we're going to talk about two groups of enzymes. One is with food and one's without. We're talking about the ones with food for digestion. These are consumed right before your meal or even during after a couple bites. And these help the digestion and absorption of nutrients, the extraction of nutrients from the food that you're consuming. This also helps with your gut feeling better, not as bloated after meals. So if you find that within 30 to 60 minutes you're bloated after your meals, I would highly suggest digestive enzymes to be consumed with every meal. Digestive enzymes can be coming from other sources as well. You can get some enzymes from fermented raw apple cider vinegar. You can get it from certain plants and juices. That's a way of getting extracted enzymes for just general health. But if we're really trying to target our gut for digestion, then we're usually going to have to supplement with that. And so what we're looking at is, generally speaking, digestive enzymes with hydrochloric acid as a broad-based umbrella to help digest proteins, fats, and carbs is going to help your gut feel better. And most people with just the simplest digestive complaints around bloating, indigestion, as they supplement with digestive enzymes, they immediately feel better. I mean, it's literally within that meal, within a couple meals, you're starting to notice that you're actually digesting better. So, hey, maybe you got some gut symptoms, or maybe you're just like an athlete that consumes a ton of protein. As for me, I eat 2 meals a day, and so I'll usually eat a pound of protein, red meat, in one sitting. And so when I do, I take digestive enzymes to help take the stress off my gut and digest all of that meal so it's not lingering in the gut. So, hey, if you consume a lot of food because you do intermittent fasting, or if you have any gut symptoms, I would highly consider a broad-based digestive enzyme that has a little BT and HCl in it. If you need a source, if you need some help figuring out which one to consume, you're more than welcome to reach out to us directly through our Instagram or even call the office, Armor Health Factory, and we can actually show you which one that I would suggest. Okay? All right, so again, going back to it, casting the vision, we've got digestive enzymes, and now we've got another group of enzymes. And this other group of enzymes is what we call proteolytic enzymes. These enzymes are taken on an empty stomach. Again, we take digestive enzymes with food. We take proteolytic enzymes without food. And what happens is when we take these proteolytic enzymes without food, they bypass digestion, get into our bloodstream, and actually serve a phenomenal purpose. They eat away and break down cellular debris and proteins that are causing, maybe it's scar tissue, maybe it's wound healing, or maybe, we've seen this recently, it's you've been vaccinated with COVID-19 and you need to break down that spike protein. Proteolytic enzymes is how we accomplish that. When we use proteolytic enzymes, again, on an empty stomach, and it bypasses digestion, and it has the ability then to create healing in our body, and we see it very effective for people with joint pain and arthritis. We see it very effective with any type of swelling, of soft tissue or wound healing that needs to happen. We see very effective even to the point where it actually helps break down atherosclerosis and calcification. We see it effective in response to cancer patients. We see it effective in its response to plaquing of the brain. And again, going back to, we see it effective as a new means of helping break down that spike protein that's been lingering in people's bodies if they were vaccinated with COVID-19, because that's not a normal man. It's not a natural protein. It is man-made. So because of that, the body isn't able to recognize it and break down that spike protein. And so we need to use enzymes as a vehicle of accomplishing that. So when you think about these group of enzymes, these proteolytic enzymes, the names are a lot different than digestive. It's not amylase. It's not lipase. Now we're talking about these other guys. And these proteolytic enzymes are typically nattokinase, serrapeptidase, and even bromelain are very effective at helping, again, create healing in tissue and wounds. Now, most digestive enzymes are going to be found in, your kind of gut section at the store, or your digestive section. Pretty easy. It says digestive enzymes. You typically don't in the store see proteolytic enzymes. And so you really have to flip the bottle over and look to see if it's like nattokinase and serrapeptidase and bromelain specifically, because these are the enzymes that you need that really helps break down plaque and proteins that are kind of systemic within the body versus being gut-centric. So make sure you flip over the bottle of these supplements so that you know, hey, this is what the intended purpose is. When we get into proteolytic enzymes as well, we can actually magnify the results of them. And what I like to do with a lot of my patients is, if we're really trying to conquer inflammation, if we're trying to accelerate wound and tissue healing, if we're trying to make a reduction in arthritic pain, if we're trying to improve circulation and blood flow, and if we're trying to maybe dissolve clots, yes, like dissolve actual clots, which is this would be a novel technique to help support the secondary effects of COVID long haul syndrome or COVID vaccination injury, is when it comes to clotting factors increasing, okay, or we have some genetic susceptibility to clotting, we can use enzymes as a means of regulating clot formation. And so what I really like to do is add proteolytic enzymes with some type of natural anti-inflammatory, particularly curcuminoids or turmeric extracts are a phenomenal kind of 1-2 punch that helps with inflammation and addresses the actual breakdown and healing of the tissue. So we can create a healthy anti-inflammatory effect, and we can create an actual wound tissue healing effect. And when these two, again, are combined, we get a synergistic effect. So when thinking about enzymes, specifically proteolytic enzymes, and you're trying to create an intended purpose, you're trying to treat a certain condition or symptom or ailment, then we may want to consider using natural anti-inflammatories to support the healing as well. And one of my favorites is going to be your anti-inflammatories mainly coming from turmeric or curcuminoid extracts. Now, you may want to consider even adding an antioxidant in that, specifically glutathione, which is exactly what we're going to talk about on the next episode. We're going to talk through antioxidants and why the mother of all antioxidants is glutathione, how to raise it naturally, how to support it naturally, and why you can't eat glutathione to raise intercellular glutathione, why you actually have to kind of hack the glutathione system through a very specific means. But glutathione, when improved, is a game changer for overall health and recovery. Why glutathione as an antioxidant is so critical to helping us age gracefully, and how even coffee enemas play a massive role in helping increase the enzyme that produces glutathione in the liver. So we're going to talk about that on our next episode. For today, it was all about enzymes, digestive enzymes, proteolytic enzymes, their intended purpose behind them. And hey, if you're not experimenting with enzymes, the great news is you're really not going to get in trouble with them. Like there's no side effects to them. Your body naturally produces them. So if you want to see the effects of potentially enzymes in your body, it's a great thing. It's very, very safe, and you can use them, again, with digestion, or you can use them for wound healing. Whatever your goal is, make sure you get the right enzyme and deliver it in the right way. Empty stomach, full stomach. So hey, maybe this episode helped you. Maybe it didn't. If it did, or if it helps you because you're thinking about someone else that's like, hey, I think this would be really good for them, hey, send it over to them. Let them know. This is your episode for really more of a specific population that's creating a specific effect. So again, hey, we went solo today. I'm glad you joined us. Thanks so much for listening to the Real Health Podcast. I'll see you next week. We'll talk next week on glutathione.
Thanks so much for listening to the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. Before you get out of here, before you exit, there are 2 things that would really help the Real Health Podcast. One would be to share it on your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever you're on a social network. And then 2, go to Apple Podcasts and scroll to the bottom and give us a 5-star review and leave us a review. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.